was the producer and director. Julie was a producer, writer, and obviously the lead actress in the film.
After strong. Last month I had an emergency and she came closer to me slowly.
As I was saying before the interview, just such a beautiful film. I'd like to get into because sometimes I think people are just like, let's make a movie, right? But I'd like to get into the why, like why this film, why now? How did you two both converge on this project? If we could begin like that.
That's a great question. I want to hear what Julie has to say because I'm curious as to how she ended up writing this.
Okay, so I kind of fell into writing and I took a class because I've always loved to write. Even in junior high school, I'm like, I'm going to write a book, and then I would start never doing it. And recently I have a lot of time in my hands. So I said, I'm going to try it again. And I took a course and I really started to fall in love with it again. I wrote already a different short. I just didn't have, what's the word I'm looking for? Without trying to sound obscene. The bravery to go on and look and try because it's a little bit bigger than this. So I started thinking, what could I write that's short that I can kind of act myself? And maybe I could shoot it with some friends on the phone or whatever, just to have it in, in Actors Access. And once I started writing, things just kind of took over. I wanted a scene with a therapist and someone, but I was thinking, why is she there? And then things happened in the family. It brought up a lot of secrets and revelations. So it just, that lent itself right into what I was writing. And that's basically it. And then I fell in love with the story because I think it's a story that no one tells. It seems like the only woman that's a predator was like, Eileen Wuornos. But there's a lot of women out there who do prey on young ladies and primes them to become. I even hate talking about it. It just gets me so angry.
Yeah.
That a woman could take advantage of another woman, especially a young girl, and take her and sell her off. And so all those things that have been going on and the things I was watching on television and documentaries, it's just, I'm like, why is no one writing about this? That women too can be predators, We have to acknowledge that. It happened within my family. Everyone was looking at the man that was supposed to be the predator, and someone came from behind with the pretty face and
Wow.
So I wanted people to know that I could believe you if something happened to you. And you tell me a woman did it, I can tell you, yes, I believe you because I know it happens.
Yeah. No, I always, Dorothy Puente, have you heard of her? She was a landlord. She killed 9 people, put them in her her yard to take their social security checks. And just it raises a good question, of course in your story it's a physical taking advantage of, right, without giving too much away for people who haven't seen. But if you think about it, on a certain level, manipulations happen all the time, or microaggressions as they're so popularized right now. So yeah, it's a good insight on your part that sometimes the predator could be packaged with a pretty face.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm curious. Has your family seen the film? Given it comes from a personal.
No, actually, I haven't really shown it to any. My husband swore he saw the movie. I showed him the trailer. He goes, "I watched it." I said, "That's a trailer." So oblivious, but no, he supported me 100% too. When he actually read the screenplay, he was like, "Wow, I've never heard of a story like this before," and I'm like, "Oh, I know. I didn't think about it that way. I just wrote what came to me and what was truthful." And then I met with Vega. I met Vega on a different set. He was a
I
sound guy on a different set on a show that we worked on called Natives on YouTube. And as I started to think, how am I? It's a short film. I know I could do this. I can take some of my money and try to do this. I got to do, but I wanted it to be well done. So I started to ask around, and then Vega popped in my head. I said, "Well, I'm going to need a sound person. Who do I know that does sound?" I'm like, "Oh, wait a minute, Vega." We got along on set, and I asked someone for his email. I emailed him, and we ran from there. It just clicked, and I don't know what clicked for him, but the fact that he was enthusiastic and was like, "Oh, I'm so on board with this. I'm loving what you wrote. Let's do it." And I was like, "Oh, let's do it." And that was
Vega, would you like to? Yeah, yeah. What drew you? Obviously, you had a working relationship, but what drew you in particular about the story that you were like, yes, I'm on board?
So reading through the script, I saw those unique moments in the film that people will get to see when they watch it. It just kind of played in my head instantly. This whole idea of like, what does it look like to get a glimpse into this person's mind as they're hearing through this therapy session? So that really was a big driving force. I have a ton of friends in the LGBT community, so it was just something where I was like, okay, this is a unique story. This is something that I feel resonates and connects strongly enough that I can, put this on screen and feel confident that I did justice to the people in that space that I know and truly respect. You know what I mean? So it was really cool to bring this to life and to really be able to tell a unique, different, interesting story that I think people will resonate with. For me, it was really easy. And then, once I called up the team and was like, "Hey guys, I think we got a real dope film we can make here." Everybody got really excited and we ended up on set.
Ah, beautiful, beautiful. What a great story. I love like the serendipitous, just, natural, hey, it happened, just clicking together from another set and being able to carry on. I think that's beautiful. Um, Another part of the film that I thought was really interesting is those cutaways that you have with the little bit of like animation there. How did that decision come up? I thought that was really unique, a really bold choice. Yeah, yeah.
So I watch a lot of anime, and I had a previous producer friend who, not that we're not friends, but like we worked on previous projects. But she was like, "Hey, have you ever noticed that for whatever reason, all of your films they kind of feel very much like live action animes? Like they're a little bit over the top with like the emotion and the stories being told, but they're still grounded enough." And when she said that, I was like, "Oh, that's kind of interesting. I never really noticed." And since I've kind of run with it, but like you said, everything just kind of comes naturally. So that was the natural thing that kind of came to me as far as like, I want to, I wanted to make sure we kept the budget as low as we possibly could without taking away from the story. Right. And I really felt like there needed to be some representation of the therapist, Julie's character, seeing herself in the story that's being told, whether it's through the actual lived experience that she's had or just kind of a reminisce. But I didn't want to have to like go and film a whole other scene of seeing like this whole thing. So I was like, how do we do this in a really interesting way? And that just kind of came to me naturally. I was just like, it'd be crazy to see like these really jittery flashes of these moments that are just kind of like in the mind of the therapist as she's like listening to the story and being told what happened. So that's kind of how that came to life. And then I was like, Julie, what do you think about this? Because, you know, it's not in the script at all.
No, but you know, it was ingenious because originally I told them originally, in the original, because you know we revisioned all the revisions. The first one was I did write in a flashback, but I don't know about other women, but for me, a lot of times watching a film with an assault in it, is triggering. And I did have like where it was supposed to be kind of a background of how she knows whatever, and she goes through, and I had it, but I said, but it would have to do, like you said, another day of shooting, and then I have to get a intimate coordinator to be sure everyone's safe. So it really didn't fit into the budget. And I said, well, maybe it'll be triggering for some women to see this. So I said, well, let me just take it out and let's see what we could do. And then when he came back with me with that idea, I'm like, oh my God, genius. That's perfect, because it does show the story that I want to do without all the extras. So kudos.
Yeah, it really gives it another dimension, right? You could almost say, okay, like, is this like even pushing the envelope into the art house genre? You know, so it really makes it a really robust view. It's really just congratulations.
I'm really glad you enjoyed it. It's one of those experimental moments where you're like, this could go well or it could go really bad.
Yeah. Well, I have to tell you, there is another movie maker that she watched the trailer, and she was like, "What is that animation? I love it." I'm like, "Oh, good. I'm glad you."
I'm always a little sigh, but.
So I have to ask, this seems like it's going swimmingly between you two. Is there going to be another project together, another collaboration in the works? Are you going to extend this perhaps? Because it kind of ends on that little cliffhanger moment, right?
I don't know, but we did discuss, I do have that other script that I would like to do. It's going to be a bigger budget. So now I just have to figure out how to get the that fulfilled so that we can move forward. But I love the way Vega works. His team is wonderful. They're so professional. I definitely would love to do something else. And if I even told him maybe we could like make this another, like maybe a feature, if and make it something a lot juicier. We could do a lot more with it. So I would love to work with Vega again. So
beautiful. I have to. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I would as well. And I love it. One of the big things that I like to always acknowledge and point out is like, it's a really big deal for me. And I think it should be for most men when women feel comfortable with bringing these type of stories to us. You know what I mean? So for me, like, that's a whole other element of it, of just like the relationship itself, where it's like, yeah, there's a bigger value here, because just feeling comfortable in sharing this story or letting me lead this story, or like the idea is open, like all of that is really important to it as well. So yeah, we're definitely going to be working on getting some money raised for some features though. So stay tuned.
Beautiful. Yeah, no, and that's an excellent point, because just in general, a writer bringing a project to a director is enough of a tense moment. Are they going to like it? Are they going to reject me? You know what I'm saying? If they say yes, are we going to get along? So you make an excellent point of somebody being able to trust a man enough with something so sensitive. So I don't know, like at first, was there any, any pressure on your part? Like, I really have to handle this, like properly. Of course you would any project, but just to say it, so you had like that insight going in, right? Of delicate.
I think it's like a natural, delicate, like pressure that just kind of exists, right? Like I have 3 sisters, I have a mom, right? So like there's just the understanding of women in your life, right? So that pressure is there. And then I just have a natural pressure that I kind of apply to myself in general for the team, where it's just kind of like, hey, we're spending our time doing this. Like, let's make something that we're all gonna really want to watch again or enjoy. It's not something that we're just like, oh, we're proud we did it, but we genuinely enjoy watching our movies back. And this is just another one of those movies that like I could play it. I'm just like, that was fun to watch again.
Yeah, yeah. No, and I have to ask because like I saw like on you have a lot of other films under your belt too as well, a lot of features. And it seems like you have like a knack for really intense storytelling. If I may say that.
Thank you.
So I'm wondering I know, right? We've been friends for so long. Listen, Vega, let's talk about this. um, where does that come from, do you think? Like, is there a part of your psyche that just is like, I'm in tune with this, like, really, like, intense drama of life? Is it something you just picked up along the way in filmmaking? If you'd like to speak to that at all.
I enjoy telling stories that kind of look into people's lives and give us a chance to just get a different perspective, right? We can never really walk in other people's shoes, but every time like we make a movie or tell a story, we can kind of present someone's shoes to the best of our ability, or at least in a way that we're like in Julie's case, right? Like this could have easily been just another story of a male teacher or male whoever figure harassing a student, right? Even seeing a male sexually harassing or assaulting a boy would be more common than seeing a woman to a woman, right? So like that, just that perspective, we may not get it 100% right, but we're opening the door to seeing this other part of life. So that's like the part I really enjoy. The skill set itself, I think that just comes from my mom. Like growing up, we watched a lot of like crime drama and thrillers and like thrillers and horrors, and those are like the genre we really share and love together. So I think just naturally, when I'm working on films, it just kind of builds itself into it because that's what I'm looking forward to seeing on the screen.
Yeah, yeah, make something you want to see. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. Beautiful. And Julie, like what was the feeling like okay, your background is in acting and you've written the script, you're on set and you're working with Vega. It's like your first day of shooting. What was that like for you? Like did you know in your mind like right then and there like, oh, this is what I want to do? Like yeah, like write more and like, what was that initial feeling like, if you could take us back to that?
It was nerve-wracking, right? Because it's and it has nothing to do with Vega. He's like super, super cool. Everyone's so super cool. But it was nerve-wracking because when you write something for yourself, you put this extra pressure on yourself to present it the way you think it needs to be presented. And you have to remember, as an actress, and you're an actress as well, sometimes you just got to let the story flow. And sometimes I found myself like I had to kind of let it go when Vegas like, you got this, don't worry about it, you know. But I definitely enjoyed acting in something that I believed in. I believed in the characters. I believed in the story. And I think most importantly, I felt overall, over anything else, that I wanted other women to know that, and you know, I myself am heterosexual, but I know plenty of people in the LGBTQ community, and I know that this is something that people don't speak about even in their own community, because who's going to believe it? You know, like a woman, like we're not capable of things that are not so nice. And so the pressure was on to present it, not make the character a victim so much, because a lot of times they want to portray the woman as a victim.
Yeah.
but someone, I wanted to show strength in the characters. So yeah, there was pressure to make sure that I got through, but I definitely am loving the writing aspect. I would love to, the next thing that I write, kind of just direct and sit back and do that. Let's see if Vega allows me to. No.
You know who you remind me of look-wise when I was watching the film, I almost had to do a double. I'm like, is that her? Do you know the actress Roma Mafia?
Oh my God, yes! I absolutely love Roma Mafia. She is actually a person I have in my log line because
Really?
yeah, because she has these strong characters, and we do kind of look alike. I actually saw her on set for the Billions. I was doing background when Billions was just starting, and I'm doing my hair, and I turn around and I see a woman there with this curly hair like mine and gray, and I'm like, oh, and I smile at her and say hi. But it wasn't until I got to set that I connected that was Roma Mafia. I'm like, oh, an opportunity. But yes, I love her. I love her characters. Definitely. But she is one of my like Roma Mafia.
Was this shot in the Bronx? I saw that there was Bronx Collective.
Vegas from the Bronx. It was shot in Brooklyn. We got a space on Pier Space. We rented it for about 8 hours or 10 hours. But you know, when I think about it, it's really funny because you just never know who you're going to meet and who's going to play a part in your life. So for me, if you play into stereotypes and all of that, Vega and I should not be working together. First, for this film at least, right? First, he's a man and I'm a woman. He's from the Bronx. I'm from Brooklyn. Like, you know, that rivalry they want to put, like, and he's Dominican and I'm Puerto Rican. Like, we're not supposed to get along at all. This film was not supposed to be made with him. Like, you know, but, you know, you got to go with your heart and leave all that aside. Again, like, we hit it off. And I was thinking about that yesterday. I said, what? He's Dominican, Puerto Rican. What? We were supposed to hate each other. Like,
supposed to hate each other at every part.
On all levels. But I was so happy that it worked out. And and he knew I really wanted a female bass group. But when I gave it to him and he gave me the feedback, and it just felt right.
Awesome. No, well, it shows on the screen. I'll ask, how long was shooting? How long was editing? Like, if you just want to get in a little bit more to the process there.
Hold your chair, because this is the shocking part for a lot of people. We shot everything in one day. I think we ended up doing about 11 hours, including lunch. And then the whole complete edit to what you see now took about a month.
Wow.
Yeah. We got it done pretty quick. You know, that's one of the things that we do take a lot of pride in on my team, is like, we work very fast. Again, the biggest driving factor for us is not just the money for making the movie, it's being able to watch the movie at the end. So that's why we always, like, you're always going to get a movie we at least think is great, because we want to watch it. And you know, you're going to get it in a pretty timely fashion, because we want to make sure we can watch it pretty quick.
That's awesome. And I'm from the Bronx too, so.
Oh, let's go. Go team.
Yeah, no, this is just a beautiful film, and I so look forward to seeing so much more from you both.
Thank you.
Yeah, well done.
Thank you. Congratulations, 5 years with your festival. Thank you. That's an accomplishment for you. It's a good thing. I love your vision for it. Yeah.
Thank you. No, you're both so lovely. I thank you so much for your time, and again, I look forward to seeing more. Do you have something? Do you want to say, like, what you're working on next? Both
Julie?
of you?
But you can go because I know you're a lot busier than me.
I'm in the middle of producing a feature right now with a director from Canada named Fresh Anderson. So he's going to be coming down to New York. And I'm working on getting Julie in this project as well. So,
Oh, lovely. So,
we'll see what happens.
did you write this one and the director from Canada's directing, or you're co-directing?
No, it was a Canadian writer, Canadian director, and then a bunch of Canadian actors are coming down as well. So it's going to be a pretty cool little like America-Canada unity.
Oh, lovely. Are you charging tariffs?
They're getting imported.
No,
oh my God, that's so
it's
funny.
expensive enough in Canada.
This movie, all right.
I have learned so much about how expensive Canada actually is. Like we just always imagine it as like this cheap place because our dollar converts so well. But Lord, Canada is expensive.
Yeah.
And all the productions go out there. I don't know.
Yeah, because our dollar converts great. You know what I mean? So their expensive is still are pretty decent. But like,
for me, I'm actually working on a revision of a pilot. I do have an animated film that I would love to get done. I'm putting it together. I have the idea, now I'm trying to get it on paper. It's something that I would love to see. I don't know if the kids would, but I know I want it to be. I really want this animated film to be for generational. Like you could sit with your child and watch it. You know, it's going to have some themes that I think are good for like family discussion. So hopefully, I get that done before the end of the year.
Wonderful. Oh, wonderful. I thank you so much, both of you, for your time. This has been so lovely.
Sword fight, king of the hill. Fireflies and jars to buy, wonder bars and dungarees.